What is going on, Clippers fans? Welcome to a quick post-game hangover here at youtube.com/@ClippersPodcast. The Clippers lose yet another close game in Minnesota. I'm getting tired of this result, if I'm being perfectly honest, with everyone here. I'm tired of losing close ones in Minnesota. The Clippers were up 19 at one point in this one. Then the Wolves figured it out. Offensively, the starts to the third and the fourth quarter were really bad for the Clippers. We just saw they lost 3-point shooters just in the corner. They lost them at the top of the perimeter. They just it was tough, right? And the end to the second quarter was very difficult. Kawhi looked like he was moving well. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. But damn, the Clippers, the Wolves looked defeated in the first half of this one. The Clippers were moving quicker. They had a better sense of urgency. The defense was flummoxing the Wolves for the most part. And then the lead got down to 12, and it just kind of fell apart after that. The Clippers were up at half, but they were turning the ball over in the second quarter. They lost Timberwolves out on the perimeter. It's frustrating. True MVP saying, not even mad at that. We fought hard and still did this without Kawhi. I'm mad at it. They were up 19. There were some dumb mistakes. They should have won this game. I'll say it. We'll talk about how Kawhi looked, which was good, but the Clippers should have won this game. It's incredibly frustrating to see the Clippers lose this game. I mentioned off top a little bit about the third and the fourth quarters. The Clippers, through the first half of the third quarter, were 2 for 9 from the floor, and they started the fourth quarter 0 for 11. So it didn't feel the starts of those quarters was really difficult to overcome. Yes, Anthony Edwards hit some insane threes late in this game. Naz Reid hit a couple threes. But those are things that I guess are easier to live with. I mean, they're still frustrating, obviously, but these starts offensively to the third and fourth quarter were so bad. Harden basically was the offense in the third quarter. I'm going to look up the shot charts here, but Harden basically was the third quarter for the Clippers. We needed it. Not the best shooting night from three for the Clippers. Yeah, I don't know. This one's frustrating. Early on, you saw the offensive rebounds early on were kind of the only thing that was a blemish on the Clippers. Even when they're up 19, like, hey, everything's looking pretty good except for the offensive rebounds. The offensive rebounds kind of came back to bite them in the ass. They give up 17 offensive rebounds. Edwards had almost 40. But those offensive boards are tough to see. They got a lot of help from their bench. Mike Conley, of course, decided to hit 2 threes because that's what happens when he plays the Clippers. Yeah, so there were a bunch of people on Clippers Twitter also talking about wondering why Chris Dunn wasn't in the game down the stretch. Dunn also ended up kind of taking a bit of a knock late in this one. He's kind of working out his shoulder on the sideline, so we hope he's okay. It was odd. I thought that there could have been a time for Chris Dunn to come in. I think it was Brandon Marcus, yes, who tweeted there was a chance when Norm Powell was taking free throws that Dunn could have come in for KPJ, but he just didn't. So it was weird. But it's hard with Dunn, right? Like we needed points, and he cannot shoot right now. Angel Garcia, you are not wrong. Dunn can't shoot right now for a minute now, and it helped the Wolves go on a run a little bit. It wasn't entirely his fault, but that's also partly probably why he wasn't in late, because we needed points. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Kind of one of the few games where Ty's rotations were a little odd down the stretch. It hasn't happened a lot. But I don't know. I'm frustrated as hell at the Rudy should have probably had a play reviewed. I don't know. This one is, I don't know why it is so hard for the Clippers to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. I have no ill will towards the Timberwolves. They're not the Mavs. But we just have trouble with their size. We saw it early, not even early because we were up 19. We saw it later. Just difficult, just very frustrating. I don't know. Terrence Mann, 10 minutes, not incredibly effective. What's funny is up until the late decision making, I thought KPJ had a good game. He was before he had any points, KPJ had a bunch of assists, and that was fine. People asking where was Terrence Mann? So yeah, Terrence Mann, just under 10 minutes. He was +6. Wasn't doing a whole lot. He took the threes that they were giving him. He only made one. I think he's just still working it out. I think he's still working it out. I will say I have not been the biggest KPJ fan. I do not think he cost us the game tonight. KPJ did not cost the Clippers tonight. Sure, there were some bad decisions, but it's not. He didn't. If you watch this game the whole way, the starts to the third and the fourth were really tough. The Clippers had chances to really put this one away. I'm not putting this one on KPJ. Yeah, I think it's just frustrating because I want to talk about Kawhi's minutes because if you're unfamiliar, Kawhi is playing 20 minutes a game. He's not going to be closing games. That's just how it is. Ty Lue laid it out in the pregame today. Kawhi's going to get his 20 minutes. He was at 16 minutes at half. He got, the last 5 minutes. I guess he ended up playing, 20-41 in this one. He got his last 5 minutes and then he was done. So to me, that does make things hard rhythm-wise for the team. It's not crazy to say that I don't think. You have to do this to bring Kawhi back. It does make the rhythm a little bit harder. He looked movement-wise in this game. Kawhi moved more on the first possession offensively of this game than he did in the entirety of the game on Saturday, which was awesome. He looked more assertive. He dribbled the ball a lot more in this one. Great to see. Not driving yet. Kawhi's not really driving the ball yet. He's shooting the hell out of the ball from three. He hit 2 tonight of his 5. Defensive instinct is still there. It's nice to see him moving really well. So that's great. The minutes restriction thing is just something we have to deal with. And I think that's why tonight's loss makes me more frustrated, is because it's like, shit. When you have a 19-point lead and Kawhi's not going to play in the final stretch, you got to win those games with how tight the standings are. That's what makes me so just kind of feeling irked by it. Joe Def, you are absolutely right. He's still getting his legs, and the legs looked better tonight. If you watch this game, you saw Kawhi. He was moving around so much more than on Saturday, which is a great sign, especially after the travel. We can definitely feel good about that. But yeah, the mid-range game, he's still getting the legs back. He tried a little reverse layup. I think that was his last shot attempt, or maybe second to last. Not a lot of lift on it, but this is where we are. Game 2, he looked better than game 1 for his return. So I think we can be happy about that for sure. Someone was giving Zubats a shout out. Zoo's effort in the fourth. Zoo and Amir's Coffee effort in the fourth quarter was phenomenal in this one. Zoo came up super clutch with a block. Derrick Jones Jr. finished it at the other end. It was really good to see. And, they started 0 for 11 in the fourth, which is so bad. They were able to power through that. Part of that was just kind of the fourth quarter effort from Zoo on defense. The offense was kind of broken in this one the whole game, I guess, if that makes sense. I'm waiting for the game charts to be updated, but the third quarter it was busted. The Clippers shot 40% in the third quarter. They took 20 shots. Yeah, it was just a weird game offensively. I don't know. It's just kind of where we're at. Like this, we're in this weird kind of nebulous point with the Clippers, right? Where Kawhi's not going to finish games. So you have to hope that kind of everyone's rhythm is still going late in the game. And some guys' rhythm was going late in the game. Some guys' rhythm wasn't going late in the game. KPJ got the and one that made this one really interesting from the line. I understand there's questions about Joshua in the chat. I'm assuming this comment says, why wouldn't he close? That makes no sense. What's the damn point? He's not closing because Ty, it's just 20 minutes. That's what we're getting. It's his preseason. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just giving the information. It's his preseason. He's playing his 20 minutes. That's where we're at. And we kind of have to deal with it. Games like this show why that can be frustrating. Games like Saturday, where it means absolutely nothing, who cares? Games like this can show why it's frustrating. So Joshua, I do understand some of the frustration on your part there. Yeah, I don't know. It's a frustrating team that we always seem to lose to for some reason. Joe Ingles got time late, which felt like a slap in the face. I know it's not, but it felt like one. 19-point lead. You start the third quarter, 2 for 9. You start the fourth quarter, 0 for 11. It's just hard to overcome that. And I know I love Chris Dunn's defense. I absolutely do. It's fantastic. But teams don't care if he shoots at all. And if you're just a box score person, which I'm not pro or against, if you're just a box score person and you look at Chris Dunn's box score, that is a box score that opponents really like. He was 1 for 5. 4 of his shots were from 3. That's what opponents want. They want Chris Dunn to be taking as many threes as possible because he will probably miss them. The defense is phenomenal. I'm not saying anything like that, but teams are funneling the ball towards Chris Dunn. Our compatriots over at the Law of the Jam, the pod, talked about it. That's just what it is. It's tough. When he's in the starting lineup, that is something that other teams have focused on. This was another Chris Dunn starting game. If you're unfamiliar with the current system of the Clippers, it's going to be kind of a swap between Chris Dunn and Derrick Jones Jr. in the starting lineup. Minnesota is a team that really pressures James Harden, so we needed someone to be that help with distribution. That is why Chris Dunn started. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. This is just a quick little post-game recap. I'm upset. I'm going to get a burrito in a few minutes. If you want to listen to us, it's usually myself, Adam Oz, and Will Updike here at Clips and Dip. You can find all our old episodes here on YouTube. I'm going to put this one out as audio too, so if you missed it, you can listen to my quiet rage. TD asking, Chuck, do the Clips need to get a backup point guard and backup big at the trade deadline? I'd put backup big over backup point guard, if I'm being honest, because Kai Jones and Mo Bamba are unplayable. They are not good at basketball for what the Clippers need right now. I don't know what backup point guard you get. I don't know I just don't. Like, I know everyone wants to do what if we just traded our bad players who aren't playing for a really good backup point guard? It doesn't work. I wish it did work that way. All right. The burrito alarm went off. We're heading out in like 10. Thank you. Shar gets it. Therapy burrito. Very much so. Coffee makes winning plays. Should have been in there at the end. Coffee was really good for the most part tonight. He was good late. The hustle was there. He had 4 offensive rebounds, which is insane and much needed against a gigantic mini team. But I think the offense was just a little inconsistent for what Ty Lue wanted. JHC, this is very funny. Rudy Gobert is probably my least favorite player, so I really wanted this win. Fair. Absolutely fair. I don't get how he's so bad at offense, so close to the rim. He's 8 feet tall. This is a frustrating loss. I know Kawhi's coming back, whatever. We had a 19-point lead in this game. It was just, James Harden did not shoot very well. We absolutely needed him in the third. We needed him. But the defense, it wasn't one of the better James Harden defensive games tonight. We were just like, when the Clippers lead started to slip, We were just sending doubles at guys. And we were sending doubles at the Timberwolves, and then a guy would just be hanging out in the corner, and they would make the corner three. The Wolves made a bunch of tough threes late in this game, but they were given a bunch of easy ones earlier, which I was particularly frustrated about. I think that was kind of one of the more frustrating parts of this game. That, and I don't know. There's a lot of this. It's just weird playing Minnesota. Terrence Mann only gets 10 minutes. Batum had a bit of a rough game. I love Nico, but the whistle's been weird with Nico. He picked up 2 fouls really fast. He doesn't even crack 14 minutes. It was tough, man. Shout out to Zoo, 17 and 16 yet again. Derrick Jones Jr. was efficient. I mean, I don't know. Just tough. We need to get these wins. So the other part about the Kawhi kind of 20-minute thing is we still need to stack wins. We need to stack wins just as much as we did when he was out, because he's not going to be playing right now in these final stretches of games. It was weird. The guys were getting lost on defense. Matthew Gillespie, you're absolutely right. I don't know if the standings have been updated live yet. But it just makes them, it's just tighter. Seeds 4 through 8 are separated by 3.5 games. We need these wins. I know it's Kawhi's preseason. We need these wins. And when you're up 19, I know it's the new NBA, but this is a team that the defensive identity got a little messy tonight, and late it was just difficult. Yeah, I don't know. Some people are like, hey, it's no big deal. We played them close. I want to beat Minnesota. Selfishly, I want to beat Minnesota. And we need to beat Minnesota. Unclear on when the Kawhi minutes restriction is going to be lifted. I don't know if it's going to be anytime soon. It might be moved around a little bit. Yeah, the Clippers are not very good against the West right now. It's not ideal. I don't know. There's going to be some post-game quotes coming out soon. Go follow the beat writers. They will have you covered. I was just a little upset, wanted to let off some steam. Hope everyone has a good rest of your night. Here's to the Clippers winning in Denver. Let's hope that happens. We're going to have a full episode for y'all on Thursday. It's going to be myself, Adam Oz, and Will Updike coming at you, talking everything good, everything bad with the Clippers. If you want to watch our old episodes, feel free. They're here on the YouTube channel. Subscribe. We appreciate it. And if you're listening on audio, we also love that. And if you want to watch my face be upset and contorted about this game, check us out at youtube.com/@ClippersPodcast. Go watch Adam over on Clippers Talk. Thanks for hanging out. Everyone go get